Hi everyone, Gabby here. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to talk about the books that I want to read in July. So, July is going to be a crazy month. Video coming for why it's going to be a crazy month will be up on Wednesday. Regardless of the fact that it's going to be a crazy month, I have a huge stack of books here that I really want to read. And it's so big and I don't have much space on my camera, so we're just gonna jump right into the video. So the first two books are books that I know I'm going to read, and the first is the one by Kiera Cass. So I've been doing a reread of the Selection series. I read the Selection end of March, beginning of April. And then this past month, I read The Elite, and now I'm on to The One. These books are basically The Bachelor but for royalty, and like I've said before, I don't understand how I like these because I think The Bachelor is stupid. No offense to anybody who likes The Bachelor, it's just personally not my taste. But like I said, I find that shocking because these books are so good, but I guess it's because there's more than just it being The Bachelor. But we follow America Singer, and though she's reluctant to enter, she enters the competition and she ends up being chosen as one of the girls that compete for Maxon, the crowned prince of Ilya. This is the one that concludes the trilogy. A bonus book that I might read is Happily Ever After, which I'll put the cover here. And that is a collection of stories and like novellas from this world, and there's two in particular that I would want to read. But that also might happen if I'm really intrigued by the time that I finish this. So the next book that I'm reading, that I'm definitely reading, is A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. Now, like I've said before, I have been slowly getting through my reread of the ACOTAR trilogy. I read A Court of Thorns and Roses in December. A Court of Mist and Fury I finished, I believe, in January. And then A Court of Rings and Ruin, kind of going really slow with it. But I finally finished. Spoiler alert for my wrap up, but I finally finished. So I figured this month it would be time to read ACOFAS. This one is like the events after the end of that trilogy. And the only thing that I can sum this up to is like a Christmassy novella that reads like fan fiction. Like I've said, I've read this before, but I liked it, but it's a very strange feeling because it doesn't feel like the author wrote it. It feels very much like fan fiction. But in order to complete my reread and to annotate this one, I do need to read it. It's not that I don't like this book. I think it's a really lighthearted, fluffy, you know, kind of what you want at Christmas time. I'm really excited to read it too because the new ACOTAR book is coming out in January. Actually have a release date. I am so excited for it, and the ending of this has a sneak peek as to what that's going to be. So there's that. So now the next couple of books are basically my main TBR. I don't know if I'm going to get to most if any of these, but they're on my list. So the first one is a trilogy actually, but I'm just going to show you the first book because I'm not sure if I'm going to read the entire trilogy in the month or just the first book. And that is Vendetta by Catherine Doyle. This is a Romeo and Juliet retelling if the Montagues and the Capulets were, is it mob family or mafia families? It's one of the two. And I bought these a while ago, like a really long time ago, and I got the entire trilogy, and I haven't read them yet, but they just seem like super easy, maybe not lighthearted because it's the mafia, but like fluffy, really easy reads that I could fly through. And on TikTok, I saw somebody saying that this is a really underrated series, and I've been wanting to read these. I just haven't done it yet, and I have the entire trilogy, so I figured now would be a good a time as any. They seem, like I said, really easy. They're not too long. They're like 300 and something pages each. It just seems like it would be a fun time. So the first one's Vendetta. The second one is Inferno. I don't know if you can see that. It's Inferno. And the third one is Mafiosa. So, really excited to read these. Like I said, I think they're going to be light-hearted, fluffy, things that are not going to make my brain work too hard. These next two books are kind of bouncing off of two books that I read in June that were both science fiction. So it's Obsidian by Jennifer L. Almentrout. This is a really thick copy, and the reason it doesn't say Obsidian on the cover is because this is a bind up of two of the Obsidian novels, so it has Obsidian and Onyx in here. These are alien books, essentially. So we follow our main character, Katie, and Katie is, funny enough, a YouTube about books. And she moves to, I believe it's West Virginia, and she ends up meeting her next door neighbors, Dee, who's the girl who's like a friend to her, and her brother Damon, her twin brother Damon, and she absolutely hates the twin brother. They also end up being aliens, and they're Lux, so they're beings of light. That's all I'm gonna say because kind of spoilers, but it's a really interesting series. I would say I would equate this to like Twilight, but with aliens. Think of it kind of like that. It's a really guilty pleasure read, and I haven't reread them since I first read them, which was in like 10th grade, 9th, 10th grade, around there, and I really want to reread it again. The next book I have not read, but it's sci-fi, and it's These Broken Stars by Megan Spooner and Amy Kaufman. Now, this book, all I know is that people have said it's like the Titanic, but in space, kind of. And that's all I really know about it. Like I said, I wanted a sci-fi book that I haven't read yet that was, you know, sci-fi. So that's kind of why I picked this one. I'm actually really interested to see what I think about this. There's 3 different books in the series, and they each follow different people. I hope I enjoy this one. The next book that I want to read is The Siren by Kira Cass. This is the same author as the Selection series, and as it said, this one's about sirens. And the biggest reason I want to read this is because it's July, and to me July is very much beachy and like water and ocean kind of things, and this is about a siren. So all I know is that I believe the siren, falls in love with a human boy or something like that. And that's all kind of I really want to know. All I know is about sirens, really. Let's be real. All I know is that it's about a siren. The next book that I want to read is, oh lordy, is The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. So The Throne of Glass follows the first book follows Selena Swordothian, and she is an assassin. She's Ardalan's, which is the city that she's in. It's most infamous assassin. And she is in these salt camps because she was imprisoned. The prince ends up going and letting her out to compete in his father's competition to become his personal assassin. She goes and she competes in this competition. That's the basis of it. The series grows into much more, but that is the basis of the first book, and this is events that happen before that will explain more about what happens in the other books. If you were watching the beginning of my channel, you know that I have started this book, and I'm on, I believe, the 3rd novella. I'm a little hesitant to continue, not because I don't think it's going to be good, just because I just haven't continued yet, but I am really excited to. And then I'm hoping to read the Throne of Glass series and annotate them, so I'm putting this more on my TBR because I really want to read it and be able to finish this, but I'm not really sure if I'm going to get to it. But I am really excited to read it because I really love the Throne of Glass series, and reading the beginnings of it seemed really interesting to me. So the next book is Clockwork Prince by Cassandra Clare. This is the second book in the Infernal Devices, and this, I'm not entirely sure what this one is about, but the Infernal Devices are about a girl named Tessa, and she ends up finding out about the Shadow World, which is this world where shadow hunters, they're part angel and they protect the human world from demons. She ends up finding this world through a whole bunch of very strange circumstances. Then there's also a plot in it, but it's kind of spoilery, so that's all I'm gonna say. This is the second book. I'm really excited to read it because I am really intrigued to see what happens next. And now this is the last book that I'm putting on my technical TBR, and that is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I have already read this book, but the second book, for some reason, Cokery Kingdom, I started reading. I got like 375 pages into it. I was almost done, and for some reason I just could not get in the mindset of finishing it. And I really want to reread these and annotate them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reread Six of Crows first and then reread the entirety of Cookie Kingdom. So Six of Crows is about a gang of misfits. There's 6 of them and they have to pull off this impossible heist. That's really all I really think you need to know about it. These characters are amazing. I really love the story and everything. I just haven't finished the second book, but I again want to reread the first book before I get there in order to annotate them. It is a very ambitious TBR, especially with what's going on in July. Like I said, the video will be coming out on Wednesday, but those are the books that I want to read. I doubt that I'm gonna get to most of these. Comment down below what books are on your July TBR. If you've read any of these books, if you've liked them, please do comment down below. Please do leave spoilers out if you have read these. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!